Morning class. You are welcome to Social Studies GSS 3 class. Today we'll be looking at the origin of man. The origin of man. Man is at the center of every creation. And in being in the center of every creation, man starts to look at his own origin. How does it come to be? How does man become a living being? In looking at this, we discover that every society and every community has their own belief about how man originated. And considering that, we are going to look at three major factors or three major items that are going to help us to look at what the origin of man talks about. We are going to talk about the myths and the legends, the myths and the legend, the religious beliefs and the scientific explanation. In talking about the myths and legends, you discover that myths are things that happens but are not believed. They are things that the human mind cannot really fathom. They cannot really think about it. But people make stories out of them. And behind all these stories, we have people that act as legends. They act as people who are mightier than any other person. And so when you are talking, every community and every society has their own myths and legends. And in considering that, we are just going to take three in our country here. We are going to talk of the legend of the Yorubas, legend of the Igbos, and the legend of the Fulanis. Talking about the legend of the Yorubas, many of us will know it is believed that God created the first man, known as Oduduwa. This Oduduwa, it was believed that God created him and let him down with a chain into the earth. The earth, it was believed that time was full of water. There was nothing there except water. And while he was coming, the Lord, it was believed that Oduduwa gave, Ọlọ́run gave to Oduduwa that time three elements: a cockerel, a palm nut, and a calabash that is full of earth, which we call sand. And when Oduduwa was let down, he landed at Ile-Ife. That is the belief of the Yorubas. And when Oduduwa landed at Ile-Ife, it was full of water. The first thing he did was to pour the sand inside the calabash on the face of the water, allowed the palm nut, he planted the palm nut, and then allowed the cockerel to spread the sand, which formed the land where he started living. And the palm nuts that he planted now had different branches, and those branches are the Yoruba lineages that we have. It was believed that this palm nut, when it grew, developed into different areas. So from there we have Oyo, from there we have all the other tribes, meaning that every other tribes come from this palm nut that was planted by Oduduwa. That is why we call it myths, because they are stories that we hardly believe. That is the myth of the Yorubas. Then let us talk of the myth, the legend of the Igbos. The Igbos, as you look at it, they have different stories depending on their locations and their societies. But the one that we really want to look at is the belief of the Udi people. The Udi people in Igbo land believe that God, which is referred to as Chukwu, created the first man, known as Anugu. The man was called Anugu, and that Anugu was created on top of the highest hill in that place. That hill is referred to as Udi Hill. So God let him down at Udi Hill, and that Udi Hill is found at Nsude, a particular place in that Igbo land. So it was believed that when he got to that place, Anugu, I don't know, because that is why we call it myth. How did Anugu get a wife? That is an assignment for you to go and find out. But we are told that Anugu gave birth to 2 children, and those 2 children are referred to as Oshie and Neke, of whose descendants it is believed that the whole earth emanated from. So the Yorubas, they believe that it was Olorun that created Oduduwa, and it was through Oduduwa and all the elements that he brought from the Palm North that the other tribes emanated. While the Igbos, they believe that man emanated from Anugu as a result of the offsprings that he had through Oshie and Neke. Let us look at the legend of the Fulanis. The Fulanis, they believe that God, if you look at all these people, you will see that all of them are having their needs in relation to their vocations. The Yorubas, they are farmers. So they believe that it was through planting. These people, many of them are hunters. So they believe that man emanated from a man who happened to be in a place within a specific place, and he acts like an hunter. The Fulanis, they are animal rearers. So from their own belief, they believe that God, whom they call Dudari, created man from a huge drop of milk. As people that really rear animals, they believe that their own thing is to get milk from such animals. So they said God had a very large drop of milk which he dropped on the earth, and there was a huge stone inside that milk that came out when the thing dropped on the ground. Inside that huge stone, we have 5 elements. It contained iron, fire, water, and air, plus that milk. And they believe that these 5 elements fused together, they came together to form man. So, as far as the Fulanis are concerned, man emanated from the huge drop of milk that God dropped on the face of the earth. So you can see that is the reason. And all these people that were created first were the legends. For the Yorubas, they believe that Oduduwa was the legend. For the Igbos, they believe that Anugu happens to be the legend. But we are not given the name of the Fulanis, but they believe that the first man that was created happened to be the legend there. And behind all these legends are stories that we refer to as myths. Now, as concerning religious beliefs, we don't need to drag so many. It is believed, every religion believes that God created man, especially as it is written in the Quran and in the Bible, that God created man and that man was formed from the dust of the earth. While the scientific method equally has their own beliefs too. We have theory of evolution, where they believe that man emanated from animals, apes. They will tell you that there are stages through which man started forming. Man came from one stage, moved to another stage, moved to another stage before it finally became man. So they believe that as far as scientific explanation is concerned, they believe in evolution. They believe that man evolved from some sort of animals. And there are other scientific explanations for all these things. But the only one where people don't have controversy, whether tribe or race or religion, is the religious belief, because everybody believes that it was God that created man. These are the origin of man. So up till now, it is still believed that man has not known his own origin, except for the religious beliefs. We believe that man emanated from God. But all other religions, all other beliefs, all other tribes, all of them keeps claiming that man emanated from their own tribe. And that is why we have myths and legend. Thank you.